Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Gears of War 4 on the PC on Inconceivable difficulty. This is my guide and walkthrough. We're currently on Act 2-3. It is entitled Plan B. So, for some reason, Plan A didn't seem to work out for the gang, so we're going to have to resort to Plan B. And at first, we've got a barrage of shock trackers to deal with. Then we're going to be dealing with some shepherds, and then with a heavy. You guys know the heavies by the name DR1, so we're going to have a DR1 dropping in, winding his particular horn, which in this instance is a, and you see these frags that I'm tagging to the ground? Those are for the heavy that I mentioned. Now, heavies wield different weapons. You'll see heavies from time to time wielding, the main thing they wield is the overkill. It's a weapon that I don't think I've used quite yet. They also sometimes have the tri-shot, but this one has the, what's it called? I know it's a rocket launcher. It's called the, what is it? Oh, it's the RL-4 salvo, and it's a very potent rocket launcher that the Guardians use. Do you know those Guardians, those flying drones? Well, they shoot rockets from their own type of rocket launcher. Now, they don't physically hold it up, but they use rockets that are very similar to the ones fired from the rocket launcher that that heavy was using, called the RL-4 salvo. So, if you want to, you can pick up that weapon that heavy dropped and use it on the Kestrel that we're going to be dealing with. But with heavy weapons comes limited mobility and slow movement. So I don't like compromised movement when I'm playing. So I find that I would just as soon use the trade-off of having a little bit less damage and more mobility for myself, and then using a rocket launcher, which admittedly will deal more damage to the Kestrel, but if I can't move out of the way as quickly as I need to, then I'm going to get a little bit perturbed, and I'm going to wish that I had not picked up the rocket launcher. So that's just my standpoint. If yours differs, then by all means pick it up and use it for yourself, and if you care to. To deal max damage on this thing, you're going to want to use, well, I mean, not use, but you want to use, the engines are the target, like I mentioned. We've already faced one of these things before. We've already faced it, and what you target is the two engines on either side of the chopper, and from the tooltips, it does say that when the rockets start firing, when you shoot the rockets as they're ejecting from the rocket launcher, those that will deal max damage to the Kester. Is it a Kester or a Kestler? It's hard to remember what the fuck this thing is called. It could be called Mud for all I care. Oh, it's called Kestrel. You know how I remembered that? Because Marcus keeps saying, "Waste the Kestrel! Waste that Kestrel! Waste the Kestrel!" Okay, Marcus, I'll waste the Kestrel. Jesus fucking Christ. Now, how many times did I die to this thing? I did die one time to it. The splash of the rockets is very severe and completely unforgiving. So if you're not clear of those rockets when they land, and if you're not, jumping out of the way well in advance of when they're coming by you, you're gonna get put down. I mean, you're gonna get put down real bad. So this chapter's pretty cut and dry, and sometimes I think to myself, I think that's the killing shot right there. Eventually we'll get a killing shot on it. Ooh, see that? And anytime the rockets fly close overhead to you, the character is stunned for a moment and you cannot move. So that in itself can be a death sentence for you. So you've got to be careful of where you're positioned. And basically, try to shoot the rockets when they're ejecting from the rocket launcher. But it's an irony, though, not necessarily an irony, but it's difficult to do that when your death can come so easily at the hands of those rockets that normally you're hiding when the rockets come out. You're trying to get behind cover and get the hell out of the way of the rockets because the splash is so severe. That could have killed me right there. I don't know why that didn't kill me. But this chapter, like I said, is cut and dry. The next chapter is ridiculous. I hate it. It's one of my most hated chapters. But we should be finishing up this thing. This should be the killing shot. One of these final M-bar shots should be the killing shot. There we go. It's finished. Now you can go around and loot. And what I was starting to say in the last video about making every bullet count, because the descriptor for this difficulty says something like beyond insane, make every bullet count. Well, you don't need to make every bullet count when you get over 500 bullets for your fucking gun. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, unbelievable. You get the same amount of ammunition that you do on insane difficulty. Maybe you might get less from drops, but like the weapon crates, they give you a ton of ammunition. So when I initially covered this game, guys, I took the right path. So I chose to go down the left path over here now. So if you want to see the right path, check and consult my insane guide. And now, if you need to know this path, it'll be available for this walkthrough. So, what you want to do on that first part is wait until the heavy comes over enough to the left so that you can shoot the debris and kill him, because you don't want to mess around with the heavy. And then when you get over here, there's going to be a sniper right over there. So just take out him. And then there's a point of interest over here. You want to quickly shoot the debris, open the gate for your comrades, and then wait a moment here until these enemies spawn. If you don't wait, what's going to happen is you're going to shoot the debris, and then it's going to kill nothing, and then they're going to have enemies spawning in, and you're going to have a wasted opportunity to get insta-kills. And even though I only insta-killed 2 people out of that group of 3, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, isn't it? Not by my reasoning. But see, this whole section is just one long checkpoint, and I'm not sure which is the harder section, honestly. I can't remember what the riverbed was like, but this was it wasn't too bad. I mean, once the gate blows open, you can do the same strategy here, kill everybody, and then advance up a little bit. And now you're gonna have some more spawners coming up over here. See the debris to the left behind the barred yellow gates there that you can interact with. See, things like that are really interesting. Keeping the game fresh and interesting is one of the things that I think that if you're making sequels, you have to do it. Otherwise, the game is going to be stale ultimately and not fun. And I've always said in the previous walkthrough that fighting these robots is I've always found it just very boring, very boring. So integrating sections where you can interact with the environment and things like that, and hell, even the whole active reloading process, is a stroke of genius, just pure genius. I don't know if it was Cliffy B who thought about that. Holy shit. But whoever thought about it, I know it was his game originally, but I don't know if he necessarily thought about the active reloading. But the active reloading is just so fun. It's think of the blandness of just reloading, and then think of the little mini game based on skill about the whole active reloading process. It's terrific. But anyway, now the tricky thing about what's coming up next is that you're going to be spawning a guardian, and when you do spawn him, there's not going to be a bunch of available cover, if any, once you pass over the tripwire point. So what you need to do, and I don't know if you get more cover if you take the other side. I just don't remember, but the important thing to know about, yeah, this didn't seem to help. But the important thing to know, once you spawn this guardian, guys, you want to pass over the tripwire point and then do a reverse 180 and then just completely go back the way you came. And if you don't know how to insta pivot in this game, all you have to do while you're doing the roadie run is simultaneously hold in the opposite direction, and then the character will completely spin around and go in the opposite way while the roadie run is still being preserved. So I'll demonstrate it over here because I always do it. It's a feature that I love. I absolutely love. Okay, so this is all we have to do. We just need to take care of this final guy who's given us a little bit of a problem. But once he's put down, we're going to cross this tripwire point. So note the position of this tripwire point, guys. It's right around over here somewhere. And then fall back like this, and then take cover. And then you and your teammates are going to be partnering up to take care of this thing. And with everybody trying to kill it, it's not going to be too difficult to accomplish your task. And then we're going to be going through the gate and doing one of the more lamer parts of the game, which is running through an environment while you've got lightning striking and causing deadly, incredibly lethal AoE spreads on the ground. And I think that they're not the hardest part of the game, although they can be very frustrating, but they're the stupidest part of this whole Queer Force shit. I think they should not have been put in this game. Like, I remember when the demo was, like, when people were demoing this game to show it off, and, like, they were showing off these sections over here. Well, these sections are so boring and stupid. Like, why would you want to show this shit off? But all I do is I keep to the right, and I seem to get through everything all right. And I hope that you, in turn, were able to get through everything all right on this chapter. So, please take care.